like, from my understanding, like postpartum depression and anxiety is mostly more of like a genetic type thing. And like, so it doesn't matter how much support you have. Like, nobody is immune to being affected. So whether you have twins, triplets, one, you're pregnant, like the hormones and all of that stuff attribute to it. So if you're listening to this and you feel like, oh, well, I don't have the right to feel that way, like, no, take it seriously. And what would you tell like other women who were in your position, like right after having the kid, a couple weeks later, you feel like something's wrong? Could you kind of tell anybody listening what they should look for, or what you wish you did, I guess? I know we touched on a little bit, but
I think the second you start getting that inkling feeling of, for me, I think the biggest thing is if you need to ask yourself, is this normal? You should seek help.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
You know, and you kind of touched on it too. Like if your doctor is telling you, no, it's normal, but you still have that pit in your stomach, like
mm-hmm,
stand up for yourself.
mm-hmm,
You know, I'm a great advocate for my children. I'm a great advocate for my students. Like
mm-hmm,
my husband, if anyone needs anything, I'm going to say something. But when it comes to me, I was a little more reluctant. But
mm-hmm,
now having gone through the postpartum the way that I did, and I don't want to say like if I had done it earlier, I would have gotten better earlier, but I might have, you know? So looking back, like I wish I stood up for myself sooner because I could have had more months in of getting better and feeling like myself versus is this okay? Is this not okay? Like I really did feel like I was struggling with myself of like, no, it's totally fine. You can handle it. And then, no, you're not okay. You need the help, but going back and forth by myself. So I think my biggest thing, if you want to have a kid, currently are pregnant, coming up on having your child, and you're super worried about something, like the second something is off, tell somebody, even if it is your spouse, your partner, your parents, your doctor, tell them so that they're aware. And then if it adds on more, like just stand up for yourself and do it. Take the
mm-hmm,
action that needs to be done because it really is better to, and you said it, like overreact and get the help versus I think I'll wait. I'll
mm-hmm.
wait. And then things get bad.
Yeah, exactly. I wish that, I know it's probably not like, it's not realistic, but automatically having these check-ins or seeing a therapist or something, like I don't know how logistically that would work, but just getting ahead of it. And a lot of people like don't aren't exposed to mental illness or mental health at all. So it's
Yeah.
like a whole new realm of like feelings. So I can only imagine, like, because thankfully I've seen a lot, or not thankfully, but I've experienced a lot and I know a lot about it. So I got ahead of it. But I think even if, like, I don't even know what would be realistic, maybe just providing a list and being like, you have one appointment already set up, like, and go to this therapist and tell them how you're feeling. Like, I don't know, but and we talked about it in another episode, I think the first episode of my podcast, about like the little questionnaire that you fill out. And it's like, how do you feel? And it's like, okay, like I'm cut open. I had a C-section too, and I can't drive myself anywhere. I can't do anything. Like I was trying to breastfeed at the time and it wasn't working out. And that's like, and then another thing is like when you're done breastfeeding, it's more hormones. So it's a lot. And
Yeah.
you cannot get too much support and you cannot ask for too much support. And again, it's like it comes down to two, like the comparison game. Like as much as people post all the highlights on social media, they also sometimes will post like the struggles, and then you compare yourself to that too.
Yeah.
So it's like you really can't compare yourself and your experience. But I feel like we talked about a lot of different things, but what would you like to like make sure that we touch on, if anything?
Um, I think the biggest thing really is the postpartum, and if you're starting to feel anyway,
Mhm,
and this go I don't know how to say it, but also like not to add anything onto a new mom's plate,
mhm.
um, but also checking in with your spouse, your partner, like they're also adjusting to a new life,
Absolutely. Mhm,
like, and I think before having the kids, like everything is about the mom, making sure she's healthy so that the kids are healthy, but like
mhm,
going through all of this,
mhm,
and I'm very thankful that my husband is open with me, and he would tell me, like, "I am not okay." I
mhm,
He never seeks out the help, but, like, he does his own thing, um, but he would do stuff to, like, get out of that funk,
mhm,
because he's so aware of it, um,
mhm,
and for him, it's never gotten to the point of needing to see a therapist or needing to
mhm,
get put on a prescription because he can handle it in his own way. But like definitely checking in on your partner.
mhm,
The two of you are adjusting to a new way of life. And the feelings that as the mother you might be having, like your husband might be having those too. And like people are very aware of like moms going through postpartum depression, anxiety, but and I don't know what the statistics are, but dads go through it too, and they need help as well. So I think, so general, if you're a new parent and something is off, just talk to your partner. And if it's beyond what the two of you can handle, get that help.
yeah,
Whether you're the dad or the mom, grandparents, like people
mhm.
need it.
Yeah. I was thinking of that when we were talking before of like but that's a whole other can of worms. But it's a very important to bring up is, regardless of who you are, like moms have the hormonal component, but it's a mental health thing and it's the stress and it's the anxiety, the change in your life, the change in routine, and it could spark something. Like if you already have anxiety or depression or really any type of mental illness, you're more likely to kind of trigger it or you're predisposed to it. So it's just easier for that type of stuff to catch up with you. And you should never feel guilty. You should never feel ashamed, but there is guilt and shame. And that is one red flag as well as having overwhelming guilt. So
Mhm.
just keeping this all in mind. And to end on a very happy note, what is your favorite thing about having twins?
Oh, there's so many, but I think just they're becoming so much more aware of each other
Mhm.
and the interaction that they're starting to have with one another. I'm really excited to see that bond
Aw.
grow with them.
I love that. Are you so happy that you had one of each, like a boy and a girl?
Was Yes, I was nervous to have the two of them at the same time, but now just seeing the two of them together, like I can't imagine it any other way. Like if we had two girls, I think it would have been a little much, and if it was
Mhm.
two boys, it might have been a lot too. So I think the boy and the girl twin are they're perfect.
Aw, I love that. Yeah, I feel like I mean, nothing makes it easier, but I think it's fun to at least have like a girl and a boy because now I have a boy and we're probably done. But I always wonder, like, having a little girl, like, how fun that would be. But yeah, I'm glad that we could finish on more of a happy note. And you seem great. And I'm so happy that you came on to talk. I know it's hard to talk about this stuff, but it's so important to talk about it, especially
Mhm.
when somebody doesn't recognize in themselves how they might be feeling or they feel like they're not getting the support. We want to give them a little, encouragement to seek that out, advocate for yourself. And yeah, so thank you so much, Alex, for coming on and chatting about all of this stuff. I really appreciate you. And I also appreciate that you're a teacher. Teachers have it so hard, in my opinion, from looking from the outside. So I can only imagine. I mean, that's all compiling too, but I'm excited for you that you get to be a teacher and put that hat on soon. Yeah, so that's amazing. I really thank you so much for coming on. And I hope everybody listening had a great time listening to this, maybe felt a little inspired or encouraged to put themselves first and recognize that they are incredible and deserve the love and support and help if they need it. So, yeah, thank you so much, Alex. And thank you, everybody, for listening. I'll catch you in the next one.